We'll now move to witness testimony. Dan Munsey, who is Fire Chief of the San Bernardino County Fire Department. Chief Munsey is my constituent and friend. He works diligently for the citizens of San Bernardino County and is uniquely positioned through his leadership role with the International Association of Fire Chiefs to speak to the challenges that firefighters face on the ground when confronted with an EV fire. Chief Munsey, we are looking forward to hearing your experiences and to better understanding how we can address this issue in the future. Chief Munsey, you are now recognized for 5 minutes to present your testimony.
Chairman Obernolte, thank you for allowing me to testify. Ranking Member Fushi, thank you for you and your husband's service. And Ms. Logren, thank you. Ranking Member Logren, thank you. Lofren, excuse me, thank you for your testimony as well. I have to ask you, Chair, did you use ChatGPT for your remarks?
No, sir, I did not.
I'm Dan Munsey. I'm the Fire Chief for the County of San Bernardino. We happen to be the largest county in the United States, over 20,000 square miles. For perspective, you can take the 4 smallest states in the Union and put it within our borders. Of interest is almost 80% of our area is state or federal land. We have a large federal responsibility and work with the various forestry agencies in our county. I do sit on the International Association of Fire Chiefs as a tech council president, have sat there for 4 years. I am on the California Metro Chiefs as a vice president that represents the largest fire departments in California. And I also sit on FireScope, in which the Emerging Information Technology Group has spent a lot of time looking at lithium-ion batteries and EVs and the hazards to firefighters. I wrote a written testimony and it focused on prevention, because our first job in the fire service is to prevent bad things from happening, and only when those things do occur, then to have a response. I'm not going to go through everything that I've written in my written testimony, but I will say that it's incredibly important that we educate the public to ensure that they understand how to safely charge their vehicles and how to not modify them. It's important that we're enforcing the rules and regulations, and there is certainly some rules and regulations that could be adopted by state, local, and federal agencies to ensure that our electric vehicles are safe. Third, we have to work with the manufacturers to ensure that we are engineering lithium-ion batteries that can withstand damage from crashes and also sustainability from fire. And I've provided some thoughts in my written testimony. I'm going to call for a video to be played here shortly. And when it's ready to be played, please bring it to the screen. But I'd like to describe this video to you. Now, this isn't a video that's going to show a large explosion or a gas that's quickly burning, but it's going to show 4 things: the effort required to suppress an emergency vehicle, the duration of the amount of time that it takes to suppress that fire, the amount of specialized equipment, and the cost. As we're fighting electric vehicle fires, as has been mentioned, there are some concerns. The first is the personal protective equipment of the firefighters. Frankly, over my career, I've seen way too many firefighters pass away and die from cancer. Our cancer rate is higher than the civilian population. Their electric vehicle lithium-ion batteries pose a challenge to firefighters' health. The personal protective equipment, especially when it's exposed by lithium-ion gases in a pressurized environment, such as the garage you see in front of you, then leads to extraordinary cleaning costs of around $500 to $1,000. This personal protective equipment must be sent off-site. There is no fire department that I have knowledge of that possesses the cleaning. Generally, it's a CO2 compressed system to remove the gases. Please play the video. Okay, so we're waiting for that to come up. Just go ahead and play it when you're ready. Equipment. You'll see in this video here shortly that they're using a fire blanket. The fire blanket is used to either suppress the fire. It's not putting the fire out, but it's controlling the fire and the gases to prevent spread. These blankets cost between $3,000 to $5,000. What you see here is a single-family residence in the Denver metro area. The firefighters had a garage. The first screen showed gases and smoke that under pressurized environment. They now have to remove the car using specialized equipment. The blanket's in the firefighter's hand. While the fire looks controlled, it is not. There's still thermal runaway of that battery, and it can ignite at any time. This blanket is used to keep that fire under check. They are now going to have to tow this vehicle to a tow yard. When they arrive at a tow yard, they're going to do things such as digging a pit, filling it with water, and immersing this vehicle, or working to isolate that battery. This car must be kept separate from humans and other cars so it doesn't ignite or cause human health. Training is also significant. of about $2,500 per firefighter just to understand the electrical concerns, how to adequately fight these fires, how to use the specialized nozzles. Finally, to close the remarks, our plan in San Bernardino. We're going to need a heavy wrecker. The heavy wrecker is about $1.2 million. We're going to use these to lift the cars. We're going to have to buy a trailer with a dip tank to place the cars in a dip tank to fully extinguish these fires. I'll look forward to your questions as they come up. Thank you for the time.
I'll now recognize myself for 5 minutes for questions. Chief Munsey, thanks again for being here. Our county is larger than most states, and that presents some unique challenges in extinguishing fires. I was struck by, in listening to your testimonies, some of the vast amounts of water that's required to put out EV fires. What do you do if you're responding to a fire and you don't have a hydrant readily available? Or what do you do when an incline is so steep as it is in many places in our district, when just getting access to the EV is a challenge?
These are challenges. I'll point out that the 15 freeway, if we shut down the 15 freeway, there's several $1 million of commerce that's affected per hour. So an EV fire on the freeway, it's best to extinguish it rather than let it burn out. That would be option number one and the preferable method, just let it burn. On the 15 freeway in our desert areas or in our mountain areas where we wouldn't have hydrants that are nearby, we really don't have a lot of options except for using a fire blanket that was demonstrated in the video to help control that fire. Two would be to bring a dip tank to the site and fill it. Other than that, there really is no other options. If we start attacking these fires using tank water, meaning the water tank on the fire engine, these are typically only 500 to 750 gallons of water. You're quickly going to run out of water and this fire is going to flare up. This could ensnarl traffic, or it could, in a bad scenario, start a wildland fire. Now we do not have any water to suppress this wildland fire.
Chief Munsey, part of your testimony that you touched on just briefly involved the modification of electric vehicles and how hazardous that could be, because it creates unapparent and unintended consequences and sometimes causing fires. But our home state of California has a rich tradition of allowing hobbyists to modify vehicles. So how do you balance those two ideas, because they seem to be in tension?
I enjoy working on old cars and motorcycles myself, and if I look at the quote from Alfred Lord Tennyson on the wall about looking into the future, that is something we need to do when it comes to electric vehicles. The fact is, lithium-ion batteries that are poorly made and do not meet certification cause fires. My greatest fear is 20, 25 years down the line, as these cars are aging, we will have the home mechanics that are replacing batteries with poorly made, cheaper batteries that could. While I believe that people should be able to work on hobbies, we just need to make sure that we're giving them the ability to purchase the correct batteries, to install them correctly, to maintain their vehicles.